Your name?
Kawana.
Okay. Do you have an Akia there?
Akia?
Akia, A-K-I-A?
As a client?
No, as a
Or
social worker. Okay. Okay, well, I need to do a complaint. Let me tell you what's going on, and then maybe I can get directed to the right party. Okay, so I'm getting targeted by the government and violated. So I told them I tried to get help when I was in jail, when I was detained at Parkland on false circumstances. They told me Metrocare can help. They help with domestic violence crises, and they can help assist me. They have social workers to assist when I was there on false pretenses and denied my right to even appear at court, which is a constitutional right for the incident. But anyway, nonetheless, so I had been trying to work with Akia and trying to get housed, and you have 24-hour emergency services there that she deprived me of getting housed, so it forced me to stay in a tent in the cold. And I told her I was terrified for my life and she had to go, and she left me in that crisis. So eventually I had went to jail. Trying to make it short, I had went to jail on false charges. I wouldn't get out of jail because I couldn't get housed, period, at all. I tried years and the government was controlling me getting housed. So I told the attorney that, and they got me back in Salvation. They got me in Salvation Army. Fast forward. So when they got me in Salvation Army, they deprived me of services there. So I was forced to try to get housing, the services that you guys offered through Metrocare. But what I'm concerned about is she covered for my abuse and my daughter's abuse, which is a crime. If there was suspected child abuse, you're required to report it. Not only did she do it, but all Metrocare staff deprived me of reporting the government's crimes to an interference with child custody. So, in leaving my child in an environment that's not emotionally healthy or physically, but they're enforcing it because they're conspirators in the crime, and she covered for it, as well as all Metrocare staff that I came in contact with. But I'm kind of it concerns me that the police were there. So I tried to use the bathroom on my appointment with Akia. And it's on your camera footage. You got to see it to believe it. So the appointment that I set up in October with Akia to get assistance, I came in and I tried to use the bathroom and they told me to leave just for using the bathroom. So I picked up my phone and recorded it that she was putting me out for trying to use the bathroom. When I recorded it, 3 police cars came. I think it was like 5, 6 police. They claimed that they came because I was recording. I don't know why so many police. I tried to, get this through Akia's head that was covering for all the crimes. Why would 3 or 4 police cars need to be there because I was recording? Someone putting me out for using the bathroom. So anyway, Akia covers for all the chaos and does not think that's extreme, along with all the abuse I experienced. In fact, covered for it and has not given me any services, period. Would not refer it over, as well as any other social worker that I've had. They schemed and were actually abusive. Called me and interrupted things, started arguments. So I'm just trying to figure out why they would do that and why I'm blacklisted from services all over. They even deprived me of counseling. So who do I do that complaint to? Because it's a multitude of parties, and I'm trying to get down to the bottom of the origin of where I cannot get services at almost all locations to the degree of intercepting food and water.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is get you over to our clinical manager sheet of everybody in the building.
Yeah, I think I talked to you in the past, and you said that you were going to get back to me with the counseling, and it never happened, and no one has returned my calls for years, ma'am. That's why I was forced out when Akia wouldn't get me housed. That's a protocol. You have 24-hour emergency housing that she would not give me, as well as a multitude of other people forcing me to live in a tent and it going through a crisis. So I'm just trying to figure out why I keep leaving all these numbers to locations and I'm not getting things. See, I'm trying to prevent me from getting murdered, ma'am. And as I've been trying to prevent years, and I'm just not being heard by anywhere I go, even at church, I'm not being heard, as I have not been for years. So I don't know what to do if I can't find people anywhere on this planet that's not conspiring with my abuse.
Okay, just bear with me one moment.
Okay.
Get your date of birth.
Okay.
What's your date of birth?
So I'm not quite sure why I've doing this, because I've done it for years I have been on the phone countless hours. It's controlled. I guess I'm trying to get an avenue to escape the abuse that the government is a part of and enforces. I don't want them to keep on controlling me year after year as they have already done. So I'm just trying to expose an extreme amount of power that is abused to torture me, control me, and keep me under their abuse and corruption. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I was advised that you will have to contact the main office. If you have a pen or paper, I can provide you with the number.
Okay, so what am I contacting the main office for, ma'am?
To advise them of what's going on.
Okay, so they at this.
Complaints and everything go to.
Okay, so you don't want this is a Lancaster Keys Metrocare location, and there's nothing that can possibly be resolved at this location from this call. Period.
No,
you have no director that you want me to contact, because you did tell me you want me to contact the director. There's no services that anyone could give me at all in my life. I'm in a crisis. Period. So you guys are unwilling to do anything as you have been doing for years at this location. You're unwilling to provide any services or assist me in any avenue possible, even to the degree of me coming in there trying to get to use the bathroom and getting put out for trying to use the bathroom.
Okay, I can give you this number to the main office.
I'm at this office, ma'am. I'm not being heard. So I just want to clarify, at this particular location, who's the director there?
One moment.
You have 1 moment for the director? Well, here's the thing. If I do speak with a caseworker, they all have sabotaged assistance and committed crimes. Conspiracy to violate civil rights is a crime, and they have deprived me of the right to report to them the abuse and cover for it. In fact, started arguments. So I kind of feel that I'm not getting anywhere. I'm just trying to expose criminal activity. I did ask you who the director is, and you did not respond. I've been playing this game years. You put me on hold to find out who the director is, because I would like to inform them that a multitude of parties have committed crimes to the degree of putting me out, abusing. That's abuse to put me out for using the bathroom. I was already homeless in a torture campaign. And all social workers covered for my abuse and my daughter's abuse. In fact, starting arguments when I tried to escape it. Placing me in sober living environments and abusive boarding homes when I told them my life was in jeopardy. And at first they wouldn't even do that, and I was forced to live in a tent on your program. You have a responsibility, especially if they're claiming that I'm mentally ill, to place me in housing, and they deprived me of that for a long time. Until I told this attorney that the government was not allowing me to get off the streets. I'd rather stay in jail, get violated and assaulted in jail, so I wouldn't be forced to live on the street like they had done years. So when I guess the attorney had some compassion, and then ever since then, they've been picking and choosing my environments and controlling them. But at least I was able to get off the streets and into an abusive environment, and I don't want to go back to that experience. Like I said before COVID-19, I think that someone needs to place the government under control. I think they're out of control, as they have been for years.
Okay, bear with me 1 moment, okay?
Yes. So these whole times, it's controlled. I've been going through this years. So the parties that I speak with are just trying to convince others that they are actually trying to help, as they have been for years. I have not received the services, which is why I record everything. Oh, what's funny, ma'am? What's funny? A lot of people find me begging for my life funny. You laughed? What was funny? Ma'am, can you hear me?
I'm reaching out to a manager 1 moment.
Okay, what was funny, ma'am? Just curious on what made you laugh. You there, ma'am? So to have these parties be so sadistic to where I'm begging for my life to laugh, a multitude of parties and even assault and arrest me in terror, begging for my life, that's who's running the government, and has been for years before COVID. Here's my little shelf area in my room that I fixed up. They had they have a problem with that. You placed me on hold multiple times and you have refused to answer who the director is because I want the names of these people that are holding me accountable. I mean, holding me in abuse and not, following protocol.
I mean, I don't know who you're referring to. So
I've called Metrocare of Lancaster on Keys. And you just said that you talked.
Who did everybody's name in the office? I'm unable to provide that information.
Okay, so you told me to go somewhere. You put me on hold. And you talked to someone that told you that I need to call another location.
Right, but
who did you talk to? So you don't want me to know. So you don't want me to have any names. You don't want me to know who you talked to. You don't want me to know who the director is. So I can imagine that's why a person won't get results for a long time. It's odd. Now someone has to interrupt this call. Let's see who this is. Hello?
Yes, this Sister Peace.
Who?
Is this Sister Kiana?
Yes, can I help you?
Yes, this is Pastor Gibson from Oak Cliff.
I have a lot of strange things going on. Do you mind if we meet in person? I'm just in a domestic violence crisis and I'm deprived of any love, support, and compassion at a multitude of locations. And that's the first thing an abuser would do. You help with domestic violence? You there? Hello? Sorry, my phone malfunctioned and hung you up. Yes.
Okay, hey, hold on just a minute.
Okay. So they told you I asked for prayer? What's your position there? Because I was told that you're in the domestic violence. You assist with domestic violence?
I'm over the counseling ministry at the church.
Okay, because they said that you assist with domestic violence.
Well, probably we can counsel and maybe give you some resources, maybe.
Okay, because conspiracy to violate civil rights is a crime and it's abuse. Okay. But if the only thing that the church is willing to give me is refer me over to other people and conspire with crimes, so if the only thing that you're willing to do is you'll give me the counseling, or am I allowed the counseling?
Okay.
Am I allowed the counseling?
Sure, you can receive counseling, yeah.
Okay. So whatever the church is willing to give me, I don't have rights like a multitude of other people. So, okay. So a woman that's fleeing for her life in a dangerous situation, they said that you wanted to offer prayer initially? That's the only thing that...
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
So tell me about your dangerous situation.
I've repeated it over and over. It involves the government, a conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes, stalking, harassment, assault with a deadly weapon, trapped on trains, buses. You can see it all on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And he commits a lot of conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes and abuses the power of the government to keep me in the abuse. So I haven't been able to escape it for years. I'm deprived of law enforcement. A lot of these things were captured on camera footage, but they won't investigate.
Okay, well, I don't know how the church can help. If you go into the law enforcement, you talk to those departments that handle that. I don't know anything. Our position is what we do. We can try to, provide you, if you was being physically harmed, we try to help get you to a place where you can have safety. We can pray for you. In that area, that's what the church is there for.
Yeah, but used to be, like before my abuser got involved in the environments, if they know a person is going through this, they refer them to a location. Well, hey, this person's an attorney. Talk to this person. Oh, this person works here. A big, huge church like this. This person works here. But I am concerned about asking for help in domestic violence and there was some being removed and mistreated, as I have at a multitude of other locations if I wasn't being assaulted. I am concerned why staff, church members, or whoever that was, thought it was a threat for me to ask for help with domestic abuse, be emotionally abusive, and have me removed. I'm concerned about why that happened, why they weren't loving and compassionate, instead rude, and involves child abuse. I don't understand, because that's abuse and it's a lawsuit.
I mean, when did this happen?
That happened Sunday.
You was abused?
I mean, if it's abusive to tell someone that you're in a domestic violence crisis that involves child abuse and then get removed and bullied for reporting it. That's abuse. You don't agree?
Who bullied you and removed?
This is Pastor Gibson.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if someone was reporting that there's child abuse to a church, I want to stay focused on what I was asking. I wanted to get clarity on your opinion so I can make sure we're on the same page. So if I was at your church and I reported child abuse and my abuse and was bullied and removed, do you think that's abusive?
That's not what was communicated to me.
I'm just saying, if that actually happened, would that be abusive to you?
Why would they remove you?
I'm not being heard, sir. I just want clarity on if I came and they're trying to get assistance with domestic violence and reporting my abuse and child abuse. If I was removed for reporting that, do you think that is abuse? And it's also a crime.
Okay, you went into the prayer room for prayer, right?
I'm not being heard. I went into a location to get assistance with domestic violence, and we're deflecting. I just wanted to know, sir, if you think I want your comment and your, because you may have integrity issues.
I will give you my answer, but
okay.
Answer my question. Did you go into that room for prayer?
I went multiple different directions. I've been trying to get help ever since May. In fact, even before that, I came in October of 2018.
Well, Miss Kenyon, that room purpose on Sunday morning.
I'm not being heard. I came to multiple different locations. It wasn't that room. I'm not being heard. I'm not being heard.
I don't think I can help you.
Why would you call and interrupt this other phone call? There's a lot of people that interrupt. So are you covering for it? Or are you sure this is Pastor Gibson? Because I get all these calls. I don't get calls that are really legitimately trying to help. So now that I'm trying to report that misconduct and multiple staff members have been enforcing and keeping me from the services, now you have to go?
What services? The service that you want, they're not at the church. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm not being heard. I'm not able to communicate how I've been mistreated by staff and our members. I don't want it to continue to get enforced at all locations. I don't think that it's okay. It's abuse and a lawsuit.
Okay,
I'm not being heard.
I tell you what you can do. You can put it in writing and send it to me, your complaint.
Okay, so I'm not understanding why you called to deprive me of services. What is the resolution for today? Because I haven't been able to get one for years at multiple different locations.
I called to pray with you.
Okay, so the only thing that you're willing to provide me, then you said counseling, and multiple parties have tried to keep me from counseling even at Metrocare, because I'm going through a traumatic situation. So you're depriving me of any of the services that you offer. You're going to continue to do that?
I told you we can provide counseling and prayer for you, Miss Peace.
Okay, so the counseling, what can you tell me what that consists of, and can I get set up for the counseling? And my name is Kiana. It's not Miss Peace. Called Kiana Clark. But I do want peace. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. So, can I pray?
No. I just, because my prayers are, I want to get cone on and solutions.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Sir, the counseling, sir?
You ready for the number?
Okay, let me make sure I understand. So, what is the church going to offer me? Is a church in a conspiracy to violate my civil rights?
No.
Okay, what is a church going to offer me instead of, because I've been given numbers years, sir, to not get anything resolved. Okay. You haven't offered me a food pantry, any resources, I've called to try to get in the small groups, can't get in that. Why did they, I love the painting, sir. The painting, I'm sorry, sir, I'm asking a question. I love the painting. Miss Sir, I can't, I'm just trying to, I would like a support in this crisis. And I'm sorry, I am interrupted, sir. I love the painting that you guys offered.
Forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 214876421 tone. Please.
Sorry, I can't talk now.
When you have finished,
I didn't get any services as I haven't been for years.
One for more options.
Okay, this is what he didn't want me discussing. This is a picture that I painted at a program that they had there. I told other parties, see, they sit on my phone and they find avenues to interrupt and abuse and violate. So I told someone that I really enjoyed the things that they had, the painting and, other activities within the church. So since I told someone that, and that was a key thing, well, that was very vital in, me, I enjoyed that basically. So now they have told me because of funding issues, they're no longer going to do the painting and all those things that I found beneficial at the church. I was told that they're no longer doing that. They had to do a cutback. So they're no longer doing the painting. They're no longer doing the dance and all the things that attracted me to that location. Not saying that God wasn't vital in the location, but I enjoyed it because I'm deprived of services. I don't have a normal life. People shut down my services out of corruption. So for some reason, now this church is stating they're no longer doing the paintings for me that they have done years that they have had these had paintings, all kinds of groups and activities. They won't tell me how to get in the singles ministry. They won't call me back for the small groups. This is abuse. So I was trying to discuss with them why this church has shut down a lot of their programs and their extracurricular activities, I guess you can say. The painting, the dance that they've had for years. How can they shut that down when I got there? How do they shut bus down when I get there? They shut Austin Street Church down, period, altogether. I said this before COVID. I'm not being heard. So I was forced into abuse. All I wanted to do is be around godly people. I was getting tortured every day. The man had a black eye. The other lady car was hid. Then all of a sudden the church, it was multiple people from the church that was coming in, and it was hard to control everyone because there was a lot of chaplains. A lot of things going on. It was a homeless shelter with, I think, almost 300 people. And the multitude of parties witnessed me getting violated and did nothing. Because at the food, it was open because they wanted to have a view of a lot of people. The men were separated and the women were separated, but the way that it was set up, everyone could basically see each other. Because, for security reasons, it was intentional. So when something happened to one party and it was, an event, then, they heard something, then they can look. The women, it would make it a little bit harder because they were set up. But if I was in the women's area, something went on, basically all parties could witness what was going on, the way they intentionally had it set up. So anyway, at this location, they had all these chaplains that came in so they can, help assist all these people in some kind of way. They just shut the whole thing down. The whole church closed. So I've informed them this is a lawsuit and a crime, and a multitude of people have to go. This is abuse.